You're listening to the Kirkintilloch Herald, a Q&A review recording service podcast, brought to you by our team of volunteers currently recording from their homes across Scotland. Whether you're listening via the BWBF online players, the telephone app, or our brand new Alexa skill, please phone us on 0141 772 3976 to feedback on what you want us to provide and improve upon. Please also join your family and friends in being our audio ambassadors and share our Facebook, Twitter and Instagram all at Q&A Review. That's at symbol CUEANDREVIEW.
This week's podcast is published on Wednesday the 14th of December 2022 and read by Corey, Hunter and Ian. Honoured. A businessman and owner of Kirkintilloch's last remaining foundry has been presented with an honorary Doctor of Engineering degree by Glasgow Caledonian University. Ian R. Young, OBE, was presented with the degree at a ceremony in Glasgow Royal Concert Hall in recognition of his 52 years of service to the engineering industry. Chair of the board at Archibald Young Limited, Ian is proud to be the fifth generation of his family to have worked in a foundry in Kirkintilloch. In 1969, when Ian joined the business his father had founded a decade earlier, he was just one of 6 full-time employees. Today the group employs 80 people in Kirkintilloch, Motherwell and Teesside, and has a multi-million-pound annual turnover trading around the world. Ian is committed to his industry and to his community and has served organisations including the Incorporation of Hammermen of Glasgow, the Trades House of Glasgow, Scottish Enterprise Dumbartonshire, SEMTA and Metcom Limited. In addition, he is nurturing the next generation of Scottish entrepreneurs, organising and sponsoring student competitions. A talented athlete, Ian has represented Scotland and graduated from Edinburgh University with 2 degrees and 5 blues. He was awarded an OBE in 2006 for services to engineering in Scotland and is a fellow of the Institute of Cast Metal Engineers, of which he is a former president. Ian was most recently awarded a Paul Harris Fellowship, Rotary International's highest accolade, for his 38 years service to charity. This Week in History, read today by me, Ian. December the 14th, 1922, John Reef was appointed General Manager of the fledgling BBC. On this day last year, survivals and the bereaved of the Grenfell Tower fire took place in a silent walk in memory of their loved ones and in a call for justice more than 4 years on from the deadly blaze. December the 15th, 1991, more than 470 people drowned when a ferry carrying Egyptian pilgrims sank in the Red Sea. December 16th, 2010, rare first editions of Ian Fleming's James Bond spy book sold for almost £30,000 when they went under the hammer at Dominique Winter Auctioneers in Gloucestershire. The book that introduced 007 to the world, Casino Royale, sold for £19,000. December 17, 1986, Mrs. Davina Thompson created medical history when, at Papworth Hospital in Cambridge, she was given a new heart, lungs and liver. December the 18th, 1952, Bill and Ben, the Flowerpot Men, were first seen on BBC TV, along with Little Weed. December 19th, 1915, legendary singer Edith Piaf, the little sparrow who began singing in the streets when she was a teenager and lived a life of lovers, alcohol and drugs, was born in Paris. Her song, Je ne regrette rien, summed up her outlook on life. On this day last year, Millennium Dawn architect Richard Rogers died, aged 88. Sentence for butting bouncers. A thug who headbutted 2 bouncers after being ejected from a nightclub has avoided jail. Christopher Carrigan, 34, lashed out at Darren Anderson and Scott Robertson at the garage in Glasgow city centre on November the 5th, 2021. The City Sheriff Court heard there were numerous complaints made about Carrigan that night. He was asked to leave the premises but refused, stating, "No, you will physically have to drag me out." Carrigan, of Kirkintilloch, East Dumbartonshire, was then told to leave, which he again refused to do. Prosecutor Ramsey Cunningham said He thereafter struck Mr. Anderson on the head with his head. He then went on to carry out a similar attack on Mr. Robertson. Mr. Cunningham added, Carrigan remained aggressive and was restrained on the floor. At this time, he proceeded to kick Mr. Anderson. Police officers also arrived to restrain Carrigan before he was arrested. It was stated that Mr. Anderson suffered redness and bruising. He pled guilty to assaulting Mr. Anderson to his injury, as well as a separate assault charge on Mr. Robertson. Martin Hughes, defending, told the court, the stewards were right to throw him out and place hands on him, then he reacted in the manner described. You have a man been told to exit but reacted badly. Sheriff Valerie Mays ordered the dad of one to do 225 hours of unpaid work. He was also put in supervision for 6 months and told to pay £350 in compensation. Over £85,000 of flight path funding for groups. Glasgow Airport's Flight Path Fund awarded more than £85,000 in 2022 to help support 64 charities and community groups in Renfrewshire, Glasgow East and Western Bartonshire. Representatives from community groups and charities to benefit from Flight Path Fund support in 2022 were joined by local politicians and members of Glasgow Airport's senior management team at a celebratory event hosted by Erskine Arts, one of the organisations to receive support this year. A diverse range of groups received support for the Flight Path Fund in 2022, with award totals ranging from £200 to help pay for kits for several children's football teams, to over £5,000 to ensure 10 local primary schools can take part in a science, technology, engineering and mathematics (STEM) project in 2023. Other awardees included local disability associations, scout groups, sports clubs, community improvement organisations, and over £4,100 was provided for a theatre company to perform a sustainably themed play in primary schools across the 4 local authority areas. Commenting, Ronald Leach, Operations Director at Glasgow Airport, said, It was fantastic to meet with so many of the groups that have received support from the Flight Path Fund at the end of year event. Myself and my colleagues are incredibly proud of the work that the Flight Path Fund has done over the years on our behalf. To apply for Flight Path Fund support, visit flightpathfund.com/Glasgow Airport. Check cash boost, says local MP. Eastern Bartonshire MP, Amy Callaghan, is calling on local pensioners to act fast for a cost of living cash boost. To receive the payment, pensioners must be in receipt of pension credit. The local MP said it was so important that local pensioners checked to see if they were eligible, and she urged family members to speak with relatives to make sure they were not missing out. The UK government has a set deadline of December the 19th for pension credit applicants, who will receive the additional one-off payments of £324 to help with the cost of living crisis. Anyone who applies after this date will still receive support that can be worth £3,300 a year. Pension credit has one of the worst uptakes of any social security payment, with over £3 million going unclaimed in Eastern Bartonshire in 2018. There are also several social security entitlements linked to pension credit, such as the Warm House discount and free TV licences. These can only be received by people in receipt of pension credit. Amy said, There's still time for local pensioners to claim and get the additional cost of living payment. However, the deadline is now fast approaching, and I'd urge all pensioners or their representatives to act now. It's shocking the amount of money that goes unclaimed every year. This is money that local pensioners are fully entitled to, and that potentially could make a huge difference to their lives.
Bakery in shortlist as recorded by Hunter MacDonald. Peter's Bakery of Kirkintilloch has made the shortlist of the 2023 World Championship Scotch Pie Awards following the annual judging day held earlier this month. Nearly 500 of the best pies on the market were delivered to Dunfermline by 78 of the best butchers, bakers and other pie makers, where they were put to the test by 60 pie professionals who have now selected the best of the best. Judges were worked hard once again, as they put each and every entry to the taste, touch, appearance and smell test across all the categories from the iconic Scotch pie to football pies and savouries, macaroni pies, steak pies, sausage rolls, cold savouries, hot savouries, vegetarian savouries, haggis savouries, bridies and apple pies. The winner of the Scotch pie category will be declared world champion on January the 24th. Gerard retires after 10 years. For the last 10 years, Gerard McElroy has served his community as well as a Deputy Lord Lieutenant. Gerard said, "Well, that is me retiring as an active Deputy Lieutenant. It has been a quick 10 years and my time as a Deputy Lieutenant has been a great honour for myself and my family. The various activities, celebrations and presentations I have attended has shown the county at its very best. Meeting both Her Majesty the Queen and the Princess Royal are occasions I will never forget, and it has been a real pleasure to serve the various communities in Dumbartonshire over these past years. I've met some amazing people who have done some remarkable things."
Check out the changes. As the countdown to Christmas begins, residents are being urged to check out the changes to essential council services over the holiday season. Bins, customer services, libraries, leisure centres and arts venues will all have revised opening and operating hours, and these are now published on the council's website. The council's waste service will not be operational on Christmas Day, Boxing Day, 1st of January 2023 and 2nd of January 2023. Possible delays in the service provision are expected during this busy period, so residents are advised to leave bins on the pavement until the collection is taking place, which may be later in the day than usual. Normal collection day, Sunday the 25th of December, will now be Tuesday the 27th of December. Monday 26th of December will become Wednesday 28th December. Sunday the 1st of January will be collected on Tuesday the 3rd of January, while Monday the 2nd of January collections will take place on Wednesday the 4th of January. The Mavis Valley Refuge and Recycling site will also be closed on Christmas Day, Boxing Day, 1st and 2nd January 2023. Over the rest of the festive period, the site will be open to the public on Monday to Friday, 8am to 5pm, and between 9am and 4:30pm on Saturdays. Residents are reminded to book prior to visiting www.eastonbarton.gov.uk/residents/recycling-waste/household-waste-tips-dumps. Once the festive fun is over, don't forget to recycle your real Christmas tree to ensure that it doesn't contribute to rubbish going into landfill. From Tuesday the 3rd of January, you can dispose of your tree in a skip in these locations: William Patrick Library Car Park, Kirkintilloch, Mavis Valley Recycling Centre, Bishopbriggs. If you're unable to take your tree to a recycling point, you can call 0300 123 4510 and the council can collect it free of charge between 16th and the 22nd of January 2023. A full list of service changes and other important information can be found at www.eastonbarton.gov.uk/residents/winter-services/festive-changes-services. To ensure a safe festive period, community wardens will be out and about assisting the public. Top marks for school. A warm and welcoming ethos and positive relationships throughout the school, where a key focus is on well-being of all, is how HM inspectors described their visit to Western Primary School. Inspectors visited the school earlier this year and noted the positive, calm and inclusive ethos across the school, which supported a nurturing and caring environment. They said all staff across the school worked very closely as one team, one dream, and showed a clear commitment to children's welfare and development. They noted the strong leadership provided by the acting head teacher and senior leadership team. Senior leaders know the strengths and areas for development for continued improvement within the school well, and are highly respected by the school community, they said. There were consistently high levels of attainment and achievement over time, achieved by confident and responsible children. Children were very respectful, caring and very proud of their school and their success, and went on to take forward an even more active role in leadership to support continued improvements in their school. Inspectors discussed areas for improvement within the head teacher and the representative from East Northamptonshire Council. These include continuing to maintain and raise high standards even further through consistently high quality learning experience and, as planned, continue to update and refresh the curriculum and embed fully the identified areas of change into sustainable practice across the school. Inspectors added, "We are confident that the school has the capacity to continue to improve, and so we will make no more visits in connection with this inspection. East Northamptonshire Council will inform parents/carers about the school's progress as part of its arrangements for reporting on the quality of its schools."
Automatic payment. People who receive Scottish Child Payment and qualify for Best Start Grant early learning and school age payments will now be paid them automatically without the need to apply for them separately. Social Security Scotland will notify clients by SMS when they are checking eligibility for the Best Start grants, and if they are eligible, will write to advise them of the payment. The move to automatic awards will mean less paperwork for tens of thousands of families and ensure that families automatically receive the support to which they are entitled. It builds on work already completed to make applying for our 5 family payments as simple as possible. It includes the ability to apply for all children in a household on a single form. Minister for Social Security Ben McPherson said, "We are committed to making sure that receiving our 5 family payments is as straightforward as possible, using our limited social security powers and resources to help."
Get your vaccines before Christmas. NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde are urging those eligible to get their COVID-19 and flu vaccinations ahead of the festive period. Getting your vaccine can help reduce the spread over the winter months, help protect those most vulnerable, and reduce pressure on our NHS. As the colder weather approaches, COVID-19 and flu can spread more easily and cause serious illness. Dr Amelia Crichton, Director of Public Health at NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde, said, "This festive period will be the first with no COVID-19 restrictions in place for the past couple of years, and we want to ensure everyone can have an enjoyable time with their friends and family. It can take up to 14 days to get maximum protection from the vaccine, and we want to make sure the Christmas period is safe for everyone. The best way to have protection against the viruses is to get your vaccinations as soon as possible. Even if you have already had COVID-19, it is important to get your booster jab to ensure further protection for yourself and those around you. Our winter vaccination programme is underway, and those eligible can get their vaccination in a number of ways. If you're over the age of 50, a frontline health, social or care home worker, or have a weakened immune system, it is vital to ensure you are protected." Amelia Crichton added, "Across Greater Glasgow and Clyde, there are a number of drop-in vaccination sites that are available at a convenient time for you. In addition to this, we would encourage those eligible to make an appointment through the NHS Inform website, as this will help avoid potential queues at drop-in centres. We also have our mobile vaccination unit that will be across the city over the coming weeks, with more information on this available on our website. It is important at this time of year we stay protected and ensure we can all enjoy the Christmas period free from illness and spend time with our loved ones over the festivities. I would like to thank those who have already come forward and received their vaccinations, and our teams who are helping roll out our winter programme. More information can be found on the website, NHS Inform, and social media."
Rail use increase. Lenzie was the most used train station in East Northamptonshire last year, new figures show. Station usage more than doubled across Great Britain in 2021 to 22, as people across the country returned to more normal travelling routes following the coronavirus pandemic. And in East Northamptonshire, Lenzie was the most used station in the year to March. Office of Rail and Road figures show as 422,064 passengers entered and exited. At the other end, Hillfoot saw the least activity, with 124,040 visits across the year. After falling to number 4 in the rankings in 2020 to 21, London Waterloo, which was the most active station for 16 straight years before the pandemic, returned to the top with 41.4 million passengers. Passenger numbers rebounded from a pandemic drop in 2020 to 21.
Helping our veterans. New campaign will see images of veterans who have struggled with their mental health on display at one of Scotland's busiest train stations to tackle stigma in veteran communities. Armed Forces veterans in East Dunbartonshire are being encouraged to speak up about mental health and get help when they need it as part of a new nationwide campaign. On average, it can take over a decade for a veteran to ask for the support they need with their mental health, with some even considering or attempting suicide before speaking out. Veterans all over Scotland have said that not wanting people to know what they are going through and thinking that mental health problems are a sign of weakness stop veterans from reaching out for help with their mental health. Judging themselves if they are struggling and feeling that they should just crack on can mean that veterans reach a crisis point before they tell someone how they feel. To change this, See Me Scotland's programme to end mental health stigma and discrimination has been working with 30 veterans across Scotland to create the Guard campaign. The campaign launched on Tuesday the 29th of November at the Edinburgh Waverley Station, where portraits of 5 Scottish veterans went on display. Each of the portraits, by photographer Andy Lau, is accompanied by a QR code which station users can scan on their phones to listen to each veteran's experiences of mental health stigma and getting help. The powerful stories feature veterans from different branches of the forces speaking about a range of mental health experiences and the stigma they've faced. Danny Gemmell served with the Royal Scots Dragoon Guards for 9 years and is one of the veterans featured in the photographs. He said, "I think I started to struggle with my mental health as soon as I left the forces. I think I had some challenges when I was in there, but there was never really the opportunity to speak about it." The portraits are available to view on the See Me website at seemescotland.org, where you can also find sources of support.
RCM to consult members. The Royal College of Midwives, RCM, is consulting its members in Scotland on the latest Scottish Government pay offer made late last week. The RCM online consultation opens today and closes on December the 15th. The RCM, which represents most midwives and also maternity support workers, MSWs in Scotland, says while the latest offer is an improvement on the last, it falls far short of what was asked. This is especially the case for those skilled and experienced midwives on higher pay bands who are the backbone of maternity care in Scotland. Jackie Lambert, RCM Director for Scotland, said, "This revised pay offer has come about because of the determination of midwives and MSWs to raise their voices and make a stand. It is better for some of our members, but does fall short of what we want for our experienced midwives. However, it is taken as a step forward towards getting what our members rightly deserve and is a firm base on which to move forward."
Know how to stay on top of prescriptions. NHS 24 are advising people in Scotland to check their prescription medication and ensure they have enough to last throughout the festive holidays. Dr John McCannell, a pharmacist and NHS 24's Associate Clinical Director, explains why it is essential that people put health at the top of their festive to-do list. Over the holidays, every year, NHS 24 receives thousands of calls from the public who have run out of essential prescribed medication. This can obviously be a very stressful situation for most people. However, by being organised and ordering any required prescriptions in advance, this would avoid this scenario and ensure that the 111 service can help more people who require more urgent healthcare advice. Due to both Christmas and Hogmanay falling on a weekend this year, many pharmacies and healthcare providers will be closed for a period of 4 days on each occasion. Therefore, it is so important that people plan ahead, only order what they need, and pick it up in plenty of time before these holidays. To ensure you have all medication you require, please check what medication you already have and order any additional supplies you need by Friday the 16th of December. This will give both your GP practice and pharmacy time to process requests at what is already a very busy time of the year for them. Dr Mackinon's advice as part of the NHS Scotland National Health Campaign, Healthy Know How. The campaign provides advice on how to stay well and enjoy the festivities, avoiding the need to get medical help over the holidays. Tips include: know how to stay on top of prescriptions, or only order what is needed and pick them up in plenty of time before the festive holidays. Know how to be prepared for common illnesses. Ensure you have some remedies in the house. Know how to check symptoms if you do become unwell. NHS Informed Symptom Checker can give you all the health advice you need online. Know how to get the right care in the right place. Further medical advice can be found during the week by contacting your GP, pharmacist, dentist or optometrist. For out of hours or during holiday closures, call NHS 24 on 111.
And surprise. 52 members of the Strathkelvin Ramblers celebrated with their Christmas lunch at the Glazer Country House in Lennoxtown. They have had a busy year with many new and old walks taking place through the summer and autumn season. However, for Anne Martin, the event was both a surprise and an acknowledgement of the group's gratitude to her. She has been a stalwart member of the club for many years and served in many roles. Although she has not led walks recently, in the past she was a most prolific leader. Most people in the club remembered going on one of her walks and have been impressed by her map work and steady pace. Anne, a volunteer for 23 years, was thanked for her invaluable contributions over the years. Jim Lawson, the Strathkelvin chairman, presented Anne with an engraved quay and a bouquet of flowers.
Kilt Walk Back as 2023 registration opens. Kilt Walkers have been invited to put their best foot forward for the charities of their choice as registration opens for 2023. Scotland's favourite mass participation charity event will take place in Glasgow, Aberdeen, Dundee and Edinburgh next year, with each location offering a variety of walks to suit all abilities. Significantly, the entry fee has also been reduced by £12. This is in recognition of soaring inflation rates impacting on the cost of living. Kilt Walkers will now pay just £20 for the Mighty Stride and Big Stroll, down from £32. The new reduced entry fee was announced by Sir Tom Hunter on a Christmas video, in which the philanthropist also revealed that this year's events had raised an astonishing £8 million, £5.4 million from walkers and £2.6 million from the Hunter Foundation. More than 1,300 charities across Scotland benefited this year alone. Since the Hunter Foundation began supporting Kilt Walk 7 years ago, Scotland's favourite mass participation charity event has raised £37 million for more than 3,000 Scottish charities of all sizes and locations. In total, walkers contributed to £24.6 million, while £12.5 million was donated by the Hunter Foundation. In his video, Sir Tom Hunter expressed his gratitude to the Kilt Walk community for their kindness. He said, "What a year it has been for the Kilt Walk. During this year, you and the Hunter Foundation have raised a phenomenal £8 million for the charities you care about, and that helped more than 1,300 Scottish charities. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Since the Hunter Foundation got involved with the Kilt Walk, together with you, we have raised a staggering £37 million, helping over 3,000 Scottish charities. There is not a prouder Scotsman on the planet, so thank you. Registration for 2023 Kilt Walk is now open. We know things are tough because of the cost of living crisis, so we got together with the Kilt Walk team and looked at how we can better support you, taking the decision to cut the price from £32 to £20. It takes me back to my market stall days." The 2023 Kilt Walk will take place in Glasgow on Sunday, April the 30th. Registration is available at www.thekiltwalk.co.uk. Virtual A&E saved 23,000 patient trips. More than 23,000 patients have avoided an unnecessary trip to physical A&E, helping free up vital capacity and minimise waiting times for the sickest patients, thanks to NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde's virtual A&E service, which launched in December 2020. The service, also known as the Flow Navigation Centre (FNC), is accessed through NHS 24, and this allows a total of 32,000 patients to be assessed over the phone or virtually by a nurse or doctor within NHS GGC's emergency clinical team. Out of the total number of patients who have so far engaged with the service, around 1 in 3, 9,899, were seen and discharged entirely virtually, without ever having to attend a physical site. In addition to providing direct emergency care, consultations from the comfort of home, the virtual A&E also allows the clinical team to plan appointments at minor injury units, MUIs, helping avoid queues wherever possible. A total of 13,164, 41%, of patients who came through the virtual A&E received a planned attendance at one of NHS GGC's MUIs, and less than 1 in 4, 7,533, ever had to visit a physical A&E. Some patients were also referred to other specialist services, such as OPAT, which helps provide acute care within an outpatient setting, while new pathways which allow pharmacists and ambulance teams to refer patients to the virtual A&E also saw some early growth. The figures come as the service approaches its second year in operation. With pressure on A&E and acute hospitals at an all-time high, the virtual service is playing a crucial role in helping ensure patients are directed down the most appropriate route for care, while also helping reduce pressure on services. Edward Poole, Advanced Nurse Practitioner and Virtual A&E Lead for NHS GGC, said, "Any patient who thinks they need to visit A&E but are not in a life-threatening condition should instead first seek to use another pathway, such as the virtual A&E. You will get treated faster, and if you do need to visit for a personal consultation, we can plan ahead to avoid unnecessary waits." Visit www.nhs.ggc.scot/your-right-care-right-place/virtual-accident-emergency-AE/. Let's talk. This week's Kirkintilloch and Bishopbriggs Herald letters page, date Wednesday the 14th of December 2022. Court move was simple ploy to bring on red mist. Sir, when COVID was largely over, I hoped Boris Johnson, despite his credibility problem, would address the nation on television in some detail about the adverse effects it had on our economy, and how government finances had been impacted by its mitigation policies, to avoid widespread bankruptcies and mass unemployment, but which led to our huge national debt, which was still reeling from the 2008 bankers' bailout. The recent poll purportedly showing an increase of to 56% of those polled in favour of independence following the Supreme Court judgment merits consideration. Instead of the usual 3 men and a dog, dogs are intelligent, being asked, it appears that a massive total of 1,065 people were asked. It is not clear if they were all Scots or whether they all live in Scotland. To suggest support is soaring by virtue of this sample gives hyperbole a massive increased meaning. If the Supreme Court ruling is responsible for the change, this insults the intelligence of Scots. Even the proverbial dog referred to above knew that by virtue of the Constitution and terms of the Scotland Act, the application to the Supreme Court was doomed to failure and a waste of time and Scottish taxpayers' money. The law is the law, independently interpreted without political bias by some of the leading judicial brains in the country. The application was a ploy by the First Minister Nicola Sturgeon to try to get unthinking Scots' backs up, her irresponsible remarks trying to foment unrest and red mist, and the head ruling the heart tactic worked with some. Let us have a rational case with indisputable economic proof for consideration, with all the facts. Yours, etc., Fraser McGregor, address supplied. Gloom for goldfish. Sir, as the nation shivers in the long dark days of winter, when solar power run the heater in a goldfish tank, and thousands of wind turbines throughout the country stand motionless and useless, I have one question to ask. Has her deluded First Minister forbidden her minions at Holyrood from looking at the National Grid Live figures, which show day upon day how badly renewables are performing? Is it a case of, if we see, hear and speak no evil, it isn't happening? Yours, etc., Aileen Jackson by email. The downfall of the West. Sir, I am a creature of the industrial age and, for all the passion about being generated about climate change, I am more convinced about the intervention of the sun than I am by man-made CO2 driving the climate. Indeed, I suspect we will be in for a hard winter, despite assurances that it is the hottest year since whenever. One of the points which never seems to be addressed is the fact that the zealots, who are undermining our society at every turn, seem quite happy at China, India, the USA, etc., producing the bulk of CO2 created by man, but do not seem to wish to go to any of those places to do anything about it. They would rather disrupt the UK. Equally, they are screaming against the coal mine in Cumbria, which we need to produce the coke to make steel, but do not seem to have a problem with importing other people's inferior coke, with that associated CO2 that causes. If permitted to continue their campaigns, these eco-warriors will bring about the downfall of the democratic West. Yours, etc., John Fraser, by email. Deluded and self-obsessed. Sir, the Harry and Meghan Netflix show may be out, but I won't be watching them and adding to the couple's enormous wealth. We all know racism is endemic throughout the globe, in many forms, so we don't need a couple of self-important individuals to take to the media and tell us about their revelations. If they were sincere in the crusade to root out racism in all levels of society and benefit the underprivileged, I'm sure the millions they will be making could be put to good use saving the children of Africa and elsewhere who desperately need food and water to ensure their survival. I hope King Charles removes the post-Harry's dukedom and his entitlement to be fifth in line to the throne. This would allow the deluded Harry and his self-obsessed wife the opportunity to achieve the privacy they reportedly crave. Yours, etc., Bob McDougall, address supplied. East Dunbartonshire Council reports on the home build plans. East Dunbartonshire Council have issued a new report on their home building plans. A spokesman said, "Our ambitious new council house building plans to deliver 5,000 new homes by 2035 are not only providing new homes across the communities, creating jobs and boosting the local economy, but are also delivering a range of benefits to help our communities thrive. Local jobs for local people, training and employment opportunities for young people, and funding for a range of community groups and projects are just some of the benefits delivered, together with our developers, alongside our new house building contracts. Over the past 3 years, the programme has delivered 54 new jobs, provided work experience for 15 young people, delivered 31 projects in support of local communities, and facilitated 52 training and career events. And last year, the Community Benefits Programme secured 10 new entrants to our new build projects through targeted recruitment and employment, 15 apprentices, 10 work experience opportunities, 25 careers events, and delivered site visits and school mentoring programmes to support young people into the construction industry. In addition, local businesses have also benefited as 3 supply chains have been developed with small and medium enterprises. A range of financial and non-financial support has been provided to support communities. Examples include a £250 donation to Christ in Gallaudet 2022, £300 donated to the Health Improvement Team to help disadvantaged young people during the holiday period, and a £3,000 donation to Sunnyside Cafe within Volvo Construction, Motherwell, for a barista coffee machine to teach young people and adult learners with additional support needs skills to assist them into employment. Councillor Heather Brannan McVeigh, convener of housing at the council, said, "Community benefits play a key part in the contracts for our new build homes, and we'll continue to look at ways to support our communities, future workforce, and local people." Apply for Warm Spaces funding. Co-op has become the first retailer to launch a £1 million Warm Spaces fund to provide urgent support to community organisations in Scotland as they help navigate rising energy costs. The funding comes as a welcome boost at a time when over a quarter, 26%, of community projects are considering having to reduce services as a result of shortfalls in funding, while a tenth have already closed or reduced services. Funds raised by co-op members are helping local groups provide warm spaces for people to use over the coldest months, through its newly established partnership with crowdfunder. Eligible groups who are already offering a warm space, wanting to increase opening times, or extend existing services or activities this winter, can apply for the £1 million match funding. Up to £3,000 per group is available by applying at coop.uk/warmspaces by February the 28th, 2023. Fundraising to be completed by March 31st, 2023. Eligible projects could range from a community cafe that needs funding to continue offering their building as a warm support to a local village support group, planning to extend existing activities to support more people. Rebecca Birkbeck, Co-op Community Director, said, "We have a huge role to play in supporting community groups and the people that they help during the cost of living crisis. Launching this fund will help groups keep their lights and heating on as they bring communities together to keep warm in the coldest months of the year. It may also mean people don't have to choose between accessing food or heating this winter." New automatic payments from now. People who receive Scottish Child Payment and qualify for the Best Start Grant Early Learning and School Age payments will be paid them automatically from this week without the need to apply for them separately. Social Security Scotland will notify clients by SMS when they are checking eligibility for the Best Start grants and, if they are eligible, will write to advise them of the payment. The move to automatic awards will mean less paperwork for tens of thousands of families and ensure that families automatically receive the support to which they are entitled. It builds on work already completed to make applying for our 5 family payments as simple as possible. It includes the ability to apply for all children in a household on a single form. Minister for Social Security, Ben McPherson, said, "Our extension to the Scottish Child Payment and its increase to £25 per child per week has been widely welcomed and will make a significant difference to families across the country. The increase represents a rise of 150% in just 8 months. The increase in the extension was described as a watershed moment in tackling child poverty by the Joseph Rowntree Foundation, and already people have applied in their tens of thousands. Tackling child poverty is a key mission for the Scottish Government, and automating payments, where we have the information we need to do so, will mean parents and carers automatically getting the financial support they are eligible for paid directly to them. We are committed to making sure that receiving our 5 family payments is as straightforward as possible." Investiture for 2 Kirky locals. 2 Kirkintilloch residents were honoured at an investiture ceremony in Bearsden by the Lord Lieutenant of Dunbartonshire, Mrs Jill Young MBE, last month. The special ceremony was hosted in Kilmardinny House, Bearsden, by East Dunbartonshire Provost Gillian Rennick, and the following people were invested: MBE, Ordinary Member of the Most Excellent Order of the British Empire, Mr Daniel Don Martin from Kirkintilloch for services to libraries and heritage in Scotland, BEM, British Empire Medal, Mr I.E. Sheikh Johnny from Kirkintilloch. Daniel Martin, or Don as he is known to friends and former colleagues, is a local historian of great note and authority who worked for East Dunbartonshire Council and Strathkelvin District Council before it for many years. His work has ensured that the history of Kirkintilloch is recorded and accessible to all. He has long been the leading figure in local studies in Scotland, and the library he created in Kirkintilloch is both the envy of many contemporaries and a model to emulate. His personal images formed the core of the renowned local studies collection there. He has penned 10 local history publications. He is central to the research on the legacy of Thomas Muir, and an integral member of the National Committee set up to mark the 250th anniversary of his birth. I.E. Sheikh Johnny is a community champion and was recognised for services to the Chinese community in Scotland. Since his arrival in the UK nearly 60 years ago, Johnny has run businesses in the hospitality industry and has devoted much of his non-working time to running an organisation for people who share his Chinese heritage and faith. Every year, he organises Chinese New Year dinners and Respect for the Aged dinners in the Chinese community, and has served for many years as president of the Kut O Buddhist Association, founded in 1982. he established a women's association to support Chinese women in the community. The Lord Lieutenant of the Bartonshire, Jill Young MBE, presented the honours on behalf of His Majesty the King. Emerging local artists are sought. The Royal Highland and Agricultural Society of Scotland, RHASS, are calling for local Stirlingshire artists to submit designs for Flock to the Show, a public art campaign across Scotland. It will feature specially designed fiberglass sheep, forming a free discovery trail for local people and visitors across Scotland to explore, enjoy, and learn about Scotland's long history of sheep farming, as well as the challenges faced by the sector. Each sculpture will be sponsored by local businesses, community groups, and educational organisations. They will tour Scotland to form 4 unique trails in rural and urban locations during 2023. Artists from across the country will decorate the touring sheep to raise awareness of Scottish artistic talent. Find out more and apply online at royalhighlandShow.org/flock-to-the-show. District News. Churches. St Mary's Parish Church. The service on Sunday, December the 18th will begin at 11 a.m. and be taken by the Reverend Dr. Ruth Morrison. This service is an all-age service in which the young church will be playing an active role as Christmas approaches. Wednesday welcome continues on December the 14th when the church is open from 9 a.m. as a place where it is warm and everyone is welcome. Hot drinks and baking are available until noon. Come and enjoy some warm space and fellowship. On Wednesday, December the 21st, St Mary's Nursery will hold their annual nativity in the church at 10:30 a.m. All are welcome to come and see the young children perform at their very own unique version of the Christmas story. Kirkintilloch Church of God. At Regent Hall, Regent Street, every Wednesday, our coffee corner is open from noon to 2 p.m. for home baking and coffee. Join our friends and neighbours for a chat over a coffee. On Sunday, there will be a Zoom service at 6:30 p.m. A warm invitation to everyone who's able to join us on Zoom. Access details for the stream can be obtained by emailing hello@regenthall.org. For up-to-date and further information on our services, visit our website on www.regenthall.org. For unto us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government will be on his shoulders. And he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Isaiah chapter 9 verse 6. Springfield Cambridge Church. Morning worship on Sunday, December the 18th will be led by the Reverend Ian Taylor and Mrs. Julie Harty in the sanctuary at 11 a.m. The Sunday school meets in room 2, and this Sunday will be helping us to prepare for Christmas. There is also a creche facility where we will be happy to look after your child, birth to 3 years, in room 2. Morning worship is also being live streamed on the Springfield Cambridge Church YouTube channel. A link to this can be found on the Springfield Cambridge Church website, www.springfieldcambridge.org.uk, and Facebook page, where up-to-date information about events and church organisations can also be found. Tea and coffee is available after the service in room 1. Come along and enjoy the fellowship. There will be a vestry hour on Wednesday, December the 14th, from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. for anyone who wishes to speak with the minister. There will be a short weekly service of worship in the Springfield Chapel on Wednesday, December the 14th, from 11:10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m, with refreshments afterwards in the Hall of Fellowship. On Christmas Eve, Saturday, December the 24th, there will be a service at 8:30 p.m, which will also be live streamed. Carol singing will begin at 8 p.m, and the service itself will finish by 9:15 p.m. Tea and coffee and mince pies will be served immediately after the service in the Cameron Hall. There will be a retiring collection in aid of the Lodging House Mission. Torridon Parish Church. The morning service, in person, is at 10:30 a.m, conducted by Reverend Stuart Irwin. During the service, the youngsters meet together in creche, junior church, and FROG. To join the service online, click www.torranceparishchurch.online.church. The cafe is open every Wednesday 9 a.m. to noon for teas and coffee, and delicious home baking, why not come and taste for yourself? The prayer ministry team will also be available from 10:30am to noon. The Girls Brigade meet on Wednesdays 6:15pm to 8:15pm, P1 to S6, and the Boys Brigade meet on Thursdays 7pm to 9pm, P7 to S6. For all Christmas and other events, visit www.tpc.org.uk. St David's Memorial Park Church. At St David's Memorial Park Church, our morning service on December the 18th will be at our usual time of 10:30am and will be led by our Church of Scotland reader John Nicholson. During our morning worship, school-aged children will have the opportunity to go through to our halls for their own time of fun and learning with jam. All are welcome to attend our service. There are some COVID measures still in place. However, the wearing of masks is not mandatory at this time. We look forward to welcoming you to the church. Our Tuesday lunchtime service will be held each Tuesday from noon in our small hall. Our next service will be Tuesday, December the 20th. All are welcome to attend this afternoon service. Also, the church has commenced with a warm space on Mondays. Volunteers are needed to support this event. If you can offer some time and support, please contact the church through the Facebook page. On December the 18th, 7pm, there is a service of 9 lessons and carols which will be held in the church. The Christmas services are Christmas Watch Night service on December the 24th, held at St David's at 11:30pm. This is a joint celebration with St Mary's. Christmas Day service will take place at 10:30am on Christmas Day. Our first service of the new year will take place on Sunday, January the 1st, 2023 at 11am in St Mary's Parish Church. All are welcome to come along and share in the celebration of Christmas. Cadder Parish Church. We look forward to welcoming you this coming Sunday to our 4th Sunday in Advent morning service, which is at 10:30am in Cadder Parish Church. The service will be led by the Reverend John McGregor, Rona Gold, and Jose Javi Usendo Malo, MMUS. Children, Cadder Kids, meet in the church prior to the service, and then go up to Cadder North Hall for their activities. Early Fellowship meets in the South Hall Chapel at 9:30am on Thursday for half an hour with Reverend John McGregor, and also available on Tuesday and Thursday in Zoom. For further details, contact the minister. Advent Reflections, Worship and Fellowship, December the 18th in the South Hall at 7pm. This is an opportunity to come together and spend time reflecting, worshipping, and having fellowship as we prepare our hearts for Christmas. Everyone is welcome. We support East Dunbartonshire's Women's Aid. Cadder Kids Nativity, December the 18th in the church at 10:30am. Cadder Singers, Christmas sing-along this year will be on December the 18th at 7pm in the church. It will be an evening of traditional Christmas songs and carols, as well as some new ones. There will be poems and stories in between songs, so please come along and share the joy with us all, in person at last. You will even get a cup of tea and a mince pie. It should be a wonderful start to the week before Christmas. Christmas Eve, South Hall, Christingle service at 4pm and Watch Night 11:30pm at Cadder Church. Christmas Day service with Ken Muir and Springfield Cambridge Churches at Cadder Church, 10:30am. St James Church, Hilton Road, Bishopbriggs. Rector Reverend Canon Paul Watson on 0141 230 4080. On Saturday, December the 17th, Dads and Toddlers will be taking place in the church hall from 10:45am with a Christmas tree visit. All dads and toddlers are very welcome to come along. Bacon rolls will be provided for the dads. On Sunday, December the 18th, there will be a Sunday club at 10:30am where members will be taking part in our nativity play. The church is now open for socially distanced services, face masks a personal choice. There is a communion service at 11am on Thursday in the chapel, and on Sunday, December the 18th in the chapel at 9am. At 10:30am in the church, there will be a family service of the word with nativity play. That evening at 6pm, there will be carols by candlelight, followed at 7pm with mince pies and mulled wine. Everyone is welcome to come along to any of the services. Do stay on for tea and coffee and fellowship afterwards. The Meditation Labyrinth is still available in the car park for a mindful walk round. There are also other virtual services and groups. For up-to-date and further information, refer to our social media. Facebook, St James the Less Bishopbriggs. Website, www.stjamesbishopbriggs.org.uk. Kenmure Parish Church. A warm welcome hub runs each Friday from noon until 3 p.m, which is open to all. This will provide a warm space with soup, tea and a chat that is free to all. In these difficult times, some folks could possibly do with some heat, food and company, so please think of any vulnerable neighbours, etc. you may know and bring them along on Fridays. Our fourth Sunday in Advent morning service, beginning at 11 a.m, will be led by Jim Wright and Sheena Reid. That evening we will hold a soup, song and celebration. Come along as we reflect on the Christmas message in an informal setting. The wearing of masks will leave to personal choice throughout the sanctuary. The service will be live streamed on YouTube and can be found by searching for Kenmure Bishopbriggs. Details of all of our groups that are currently running may be found on our website, kenmure-church.co.uk. To find us on Facebook, just search for Kenmure Parish Church. If you would like to join our WhatsApp group or receive the Bible studies from ABC, then email us at kenmurechurch@icloud.com. Lenzie Union Parish Church. Christmas services. Sunday, December the 18th at 11 a.m, Christmas family service. Sunday, December the 18th at 4 p.m, candlelit lessons and carol service, with tea afterwards. Saturday, December the 24th at 6 p.m. to 6:30 p.m, Christmas Eve family service. Saturday, December the 24th at 11:30 p.m, Christmas Eve watch night service. Sunday, December the 25th at 11 a.m, Christmas Day family service. Bethlehem experience on Saturday, December the 17th from 4 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. Everyone is welcome to come into the church to experience the joy and wonder of Jesus' birth in Bethlehem. Christingle making, games, crafts, refreshments, drama from the Christmas experience. Look out for the knitted animal trail in the local shops too. With the rise in the cost of living, we understand that this winter will be challenging. That's why we're creating a warm space at Dean House. It will be open every Tuesday until December the 20th, from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. for tea and coffee. The Meeting Place coffee shop is open on Wednesdays 10 a.m. to noon in the new hall. Meet your friends and enjoy a chat over a cup of tea or coffee. Everyone, from the very young to the young at heart, is welcome to attend. We also have a good selection of greetings cards and second-hand books for sale. The coffee pot is open on Fridays 10 a.m. to noon in the new hall for teas, coffees and chat. Colston Wellpark Church. As we approach Christmas, please feel free to join us and celebrate together at this special time of the year. This Sunday will be a time carol singing and readings, a time for all the family at 11 a.m, led by the Reverend Leslie Grieve. Tea and coffee will be served in the hall after the service. The Colston Art Club, the Brownies and the Boys Brigade will be closed over the festive season and will be recommencing in the new year. Cake and Company continues this Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Come along for a chat and good company. The food bank continues its good work and is open every Friday, only from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Thanks always to the many donations of food, especially at this Christmas time. Follow our church services on Facebook at Colston Wellpark Parish Church, and if you require further information on any of our church activities, contact Leslie Grieve on 07813 255 052. St Columba's Hillhead Church. St Columba's Hillhead Church has two sites, St Columba's and Hillhead. Do join us for our Sunday morning service at St Columba's at 10 a.m. or at Hillhead at 11:30 a.m. Tea, coffee and juice are served after the service at St Columba's and before the service at Hillhead. We'd love to meet you there, but if you really can't come in person, you can still connect with us by live stream via www.kirkintillochstcolumbus.org.uk or by searching for St Columba's Hillhead Kirkintilloch on YouTube. We have a shorter midweek service at St Columba's on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. We are offering free hot drinks and biscuits at our new weekly warm welcome events, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. at Hillhead on Wednesday afternoons, and 10 a.m. to noon at St Columba's for a chat, or to read the paper, or to make use of our free Wi-Fi, St Columba's only. Reverend Philip Wright, Minister, St Columba's Hillhead Church, Old L Road, Kirkintilloch, G66 3HQ, and 2 Rosebank Avenue, Kirkintilloch, G66 2PR. P. Wright at churchofscotland.org.uk, or mobile 07427 623 393. Home Church, Scotland, Lammermuir Road, Kirkintilloch, G66 4JP. The Lord is great and is to be highly praised. His greatness is beyond understanding. Psalm 145 verse 3. One church, Home Church. 4 locations, Kirkintilloch, Glasgow, Stornoway and online. A church for all ages. Saturdays, warm space, warm meal, warm welcome at the Home Church every Saturday at 6:30 p.m. Suggested donation £1.50 per adult. Children eat free. December the 18th, 9:30. Communion. 10 a.m. Prayer meeting. 10:30 a.m. Fellowship, tea and coffee. 11 a.m. Worship service including nativity play, followed by tea and coffee. Wednesday at 7:15 p.m. is a fellowship night, including a time of prayer and Bible study. December the 24th, Christmas Eve carol services at 6:30 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. See Facebook and Instagram for up-to-date information. Lindsay Old Parish Church, Sunday, December the 18th at 11 a.m. Choir-led worship and annual lessons and carol service. Saturday, December the 24th at 4 p.m. Christ Go service for families. At 11 p.m, refreshments served in the hall, and then at 11:30 p.m, watch night service in sanctuary. Sunday, December the 25th at 11 a.m, family Christmas worship, including baptism. District News General, date Wednesday the 14th of December 2022. Society of Antiquaries. At our meeting on December the 1st, the Antiquaries heard a lively and interesting talk by local environmental activist Paul Carter on the Drovers. Paul is heavily involved in the Friends of Kelvin Valley and the Forth and Clyde Canal Society, and edits the Friends' regular newsletter and Canal News. Paul's interested in the Drovers, and Drove Road started when he discovered that a green lane uphill from his house was part of the old Drove Road from Aberfoyle to Falkirk, where the cattle were sold on the Falkirk Tryst each October. The Tryst started in 1707 and ended in 1880, and this period covers the heyday of droving. The market for cattle was opened up by the Act of Union and the end of the Jacobite rebellions, and driven by the Industrial Revolution and the need to feed the rising population of the expanding cities. Cattle were raised in crofts in the Highlands and driven to the Falkirk Tryst. Droving was a slow process, making about 10 miles per day, with 1 man per 60 beasts. The drovers kept to agreed pathways known as loans, marked out by dry stone dykes about 10 metres apart. These kept to the high ground to avoid the cattle straying onto cultivated fields. By the mid-1800s, the arrival of railways and steam packets meant that the cattle could be transported to market more easily, and droving went into decline. There are still extensive stretches of the double dykes marking the drove roads visible in the Campsies and towards Falkirk, and names such as Drove Hill and Drovegate on old maps. Paul's well-illustrated presentation gave an insight into the life of the drovers and the traces of drove roads that can still be seen today. The talk was greatly enjoyed by an audience of over 35 and was followed by a number of questions and a lively discussion. Holyrood View. What Voluntary Union of Nations? By Ross Greer, MSP. The debate over Scotland's right to choose its own future moved to the Supreme Court last month, with a ruling that the Scottish Parliament does not have the power to agree to an independence referendum without the permission of the UK Government. I and my Scottish Green colleagues respect the Court's decision, even if we are admittedly disappointed by it. The legal question has been answered, but the principle that Scotland should have the democratic right to self-determination remains unchanged. The decision shows how unfair the United Kingdom is. Labour and the Tories have always insisted that this is a voluntary union, but what's voluntary about it if Scotland isn't allowed to decide whether we wish to stay or go? In 2014 we were told that voting no was the only way to stay in the European Union and that we would benefit from the strength of Britain's economy. Those claims have been totally dismantled since. The public deserve an opportunity to have their say on this new reality. Scotland voted overwhelmingly against Brexit, but now we are feeling the damaging consequences. Despite being an energy-rich country, we are suffering from soaring energy bills and a Westminster government whose response is to cut public services and give tax breaks to oil and gas companies. There is already an alternative, and we already have a mandate for it. Last year, Scotland elected the biggest ever pro-independence majority in our Parliament's history. Not only did the SNP and the Greens win more seats than the Tories, Labour and Lib Dems, we won 16,057 more votes. When a record number of voters backed the Scottish Greens, they did so on the basis of an unambiguously pro-independence manifesto. If the UK government continues to refuse our mandate, the onus is on them to explain how else a part of this voluntary union of nations can exercise its right to choose its own future. Maybe they should just admit that they don't actually care what the people of Scotland want. Every vote cast for pro-independence candidates at the 2024 general election will count towards a mandate for independence. The Scottish Greens will continue to make the case for a positive and progressive vision over a fairer, greener and European nation, one which works for poor people and planet. Chloe needs a new home. Chloe is a lovely German Shepherd who is ready to find her forever home. She is currently being cared for by the Scottish SPCA in Edinburgh and Lothian's Animal Rescue and Rehoming Centre. She is a clever girl who loves to use her brain and enjoys clicker training. Unfortunately, she can get very excited in the kennels, and this can cause her to jump out and be a little mouthy when getting her lead to go for a walk. For this reason, the Scottish SPCA are looking for an experienced adult-only home who have dealt with this type of behaviour in the past, and also preferably have experience of the breed. If you can help Chloe, apply via www.scottishspca.org/rehome-a-pet/9414-Chloe. Heart of the Matter by Dr. Frank Dunn. The Christmas season has crept up this year and is certainly different from those COVID Christmases of 2020 and 2021. Our lives were turned upside down, and the challenges of not being able to visit friends in hospital or anywhere else and not supporting grieving families were especially difficult. I am sure the celebrations this year will be memorable and poignant. As I write this, I am aware of the continuing cold snap. I fervently hope that everyone will find ways of keeping healthy. We will all be looking at ways to keep warm while watching our fuel bills. The elderly are especially vulnerable to the cold, as our mechanism for controlling body temperature can be blunted, and hypothermia is a dangerous condition. I have spoken about falls in the past, but your correspondent continues to forget such a hazard, despite bleating on to others. Yesterday I was returning to my car when my neighbour gave me a knock on the window and a wave. I turned round and slipped, managed to keep upright, but it was touch and go. I should have moved more cautiously. I remember last year an elderly neighbour was carrying rubbish to her bins using both arms. The arms can protect against a more serious fall and help with balance. Therefore, especially at this time of year, at least one arm should be free to reduce the extent of injury if a fall should occur. Some years ago, I suggested that a walk between the main course and the dessert on Christmas Day might aid digestion. This advice was met with a mixed response, from a bad idea to a terrible idea. The hazards of hypothermia and falls and overcooked Christmas pudding were pointed out. While I accept this, I still think it is worth considering, or if not that, a pause between courses for games or a musical interlude. In regard to liquid refreshments, my advice is to drink comparable amounts of water and to take it easy on the pre-meal fizzy stuff. Alcohol with bubbles is absorbed more quickly than non-fizzy alcohol. Alcohol, like water, is one of the few substances absorbed from the stomach. This is why the effects can be apparent after a few minutes on an empty stomach. My main take-home message, however, is all good wishes for a joyous Christmas and a healthy and fulfilling. Protect your pipes this winter. Householders have been urged, as part of Scottish Water's new winter campaign, to take action to ensure their property and water pipes are protected from the very cold weather. With temperatures dropping, the utility is reminding property owners that preparing for sub-zero temperatures could help prevent problems such as burst pipes and flooding, and save unwanted expense in the long run. The Scottish Water's campaign includes tips on all things winter and winter related, including keeping warm and reducing energy bills through water and energy efficiency. The key advice is to heat, insulate and protect. www.scottishwater.co.uk/winter or www.yourwateryourlife.co.uk/winter. Horticultural Society. At our November meeting, Lauren Lockery from Herald Homestead gave an enthusiastic and informative talk on Scottish and Siberian plants, their uses and benefits. It was particularly interesting to learn that the young shoots of the well-known roseberry willow herb could be cooked and used as an alternative to asparagus, the young leaves and the flowers added to salad, and the dried leaves used to make tea. Members were able to sample the latter, which met with approval. Lauren also spoke about permaculture, an approach to land management and settlement design that adapts to arrangements that observed in flourishing ecosystems. Our next meeting in Enterprise House is on Thursday, December the 15th, from 7:30pm to 9:30pm. This is our Christmas social, when mince pies and mulled wine will be served. We'll have a short quiz and Secret Santa, plus one of our members has volunteered to run a sick plant clinic for those who have problem plants, which they can either bring along or describe in order to get advice. New members are always made welcome, and anyone wishing to know more about the Society can contact Paul on 0141 578 1520 or visit our website www.kirkintillochhorty.org.uk. Life-saving location app. A winter weather begins to set in. The Met Office has predicted an increase in colder and snowier weather. It's urging people to download the free location app, What 3 Words, onto their mobile devices in case they find themselves injured, lost or stranded as a result of the extreme weather. Should members of the public find themselves in danger, What they can use What 3 Words to communicate their exact location, so emergency services can locate them quickly and efficiently. The location app is used by over 85% of UK emergency services, breakdown providers like the EA, and is regularly recommended by national parks and outdoor spaces. The app is free to download on both iOS and Android, and does not need an internet connection to find your current What's 3 Words address. It uses GPS.
Family announcements. Deaths. McFarlane, Isabel Taylor. Peacefully on December 5th, 2022, aged 86 years. Isabel, beloved wife of the late Archie and much-loved mum of Stuart and Sheila. Funeral service at Clydebank Crematorium, North Dalnotter on Friday, December 30th, 2022, at 11:30am. Family flowers, donations to kidney research. Announcements. Please note the amended Christmas and New Year's deadlines for the Kirky Herald. If you would like your notice to appear on Wednesday the 21st of December, the amended deadline is Friday the 16th of December at 2pm. If you would like your notice to appear on Wednesday the 28th of December, the amended deadline is Thursday the 22nd of December at 12pm. If you would like your notice to appear on Wednesday the 4th of January, the amended deadline is Thursday the 29th of December at 3pm. Our phone lines will be closed for Christmas at 4:30pm on Friday the 23rd of December, and will reopen on Wednesday the 28th of December at 9am. Our phone lines will close for New Year at 4:30pm on Friday the 30th of December, and will reopen on Wednesday the 4th of January at 9am. We would like to wish all readers a happy Christmas and a wonderful New Year. Saturday Night Woes. The Glasgow clan, supported by Asprie Glasgow West, suffered a damaging 7-1 loss to the Sheffield Steelers in a night to forget at the Braehead Arena. Stephen McParland and Sam Jones got the action started early as they dropped the gloves just 4 minutes in after a collision at the boards. Sheffield thought they'd found an opener through a tipped shot by Jonathan Phillips, but it was called off for high sticks. The Steelers eventually found their way into the lead as Robert Dowd collected the puck in the crease and fired a shot past Ty Taylor on the spin. McParland then put the clan back level as he slotted the puck high into the net on a breakaway to claim a power play goal in the second period. Sheffield put themselves back in front in the second period as Matthew Petgrave fired a shot into the top left corner before Martin Lathel made it 3 shortly after. The clan conceded a fourth while on the penalty kill, just before the end of the second, as Danny Christo netted after picking up a loose puck in the crease after a goal-mouth scramble, slotting high over Taylor. In the third period, the clan came close to pulling one back on the Steelers' lead as Craig Peacock rebounded a John Dunbar shot, but Matthew Greenfield did well to keep it out. The Steelers bagged a 5th goal through a Sebastian Pike ripper from the blue line, which flew past Taylor into the clan net. Then Robert Dowd and Danny Christo followed suit in the third as they unleashed heavy slap shots, which found their way into the net to give the visitors a 6-goal lead and confirm the points for the visitors. Meanwhile, in an early game, Clan suffered a 3-2 loss to Guildford Flames. Gary Hayden opened the scoring with a top-shelf wrist shot after charging up the right side of the ice. The Flames bagged an equaliser in the opening minute of the second period as Ben O'Connor scored on the power play to level the game. Alex Ewell put the visitors in front with a wrist shot from the left side of the ice. The Flames doubled their lead through a second power play goal by O'Connor. Stephen Dixon scored a second for the Clan. The Clan battled until the end as Hayden put a shot in the net in the final seconds, but it was Guildford who took the 3-2 win. Photoshoot was most a moo sing for Clan. Goalie Cow. Glasgow Clan netminder Ewan Simpson comes face to face with his most unusual opponent yet. Ewan and the Highland Cow began steering each other out during the photo shoot for the official Glasgow Clan 2023 calendar, and in a nod to the clan's popular mascot, Clangus, the ice hockey stars were all being pictured with Highland cows at a farm in Lanarkshire. The calendar went on sale at the Clan home game against Guildford Flames at Braehead Arena on Friday. It can also be purchased from the club's online store at shop.clan.com for only £15. It features 12 photographs with players with real-life Clangus and a group shot on the cover. Gareth Chalmers, managing director at Braehead Arena, said, "Since Clangus is everyone's favourite Highland cow, it was natural that we should get the players out of the ring and into a field full of Clangus's cousins for this year's calendar photo shoot." The Sporting Life. Why National World Head of Editorial Learning and Development Colin Hume is sticking with Panini albums. Panini sticker album tradition is forever young. An article attributed to Colin Hume and read by me, Corey. FIFA on PlayStation, VAR, deciding games and stats pouring out of mobile phones. Football is very different to how it was in the 1970s, but one thing endures, the sticker album. Colin Hume recalls his quest to seek down thousands of footballers' faces over the years. The past 50 years have seen football change immeasurably. Artificial pitches, multiple substitutions, names on the back of players' jerseys, astronomical wages, wall-to-wall TV coverage, not to mention the VAR, the game is barely recognisable from the one some of us watched growing up in the 70s. But at least one tradition has endured since the 1970 World Cup, where Pelé and his compatriots thrilled the watching millions with their exciting brand of football, which saw Brazil win the trophy for a third time. That was the year that Panini launched its first sticker album, to accompany the tournament, then being held in Mexico. Fast forward more than half a century, and thousands of youngsters, and many adults eager to recreate their youth, are busy attempting to get all 670 stickers that make up the Qatar 2022 album. Few will manage it. Like so many things in football these days, there's a lot of money involved, and someone somewhere has calculated that it would cost upwards of £800 to complete. True, in some rare instances, you may make a decent profit in the long term. In 2017, a 1970 World Cup album signed by Pelé sold for a record £10,450. But for every full collection, there are thousands, probably hundreds of thousands, lying forgotten in attics with pages still missing those final few stickers. For me, Spain 1982 was the pinnacle of my collecting career, but it was a few years earlier that I was first struck by the bug. In those days, it was cards rather than stickers. Think vinyl compared to CDs. And each pack came with a rock-hard stick of pink chewing gum. It would be a little while before I actually tasted the gum. I wasn't missing much, as my first cards were won rather than bought. I was in the 4th year of primary school when I spotted a gang of older boys flicking cards towards the wall, the point of the game being to finish the closest, thereby boosting your collection to the detriment of the other contestants. Intrigued, I borrowed a single card from a friend, and when lunchtime was over, I returned to the classroom with a sizable pile. I was hooked. For the next few years, all my pocket money was invested in my new hobby, discarding the gum as by then I had learned my lesson. Then came Argentina 1978. It's hard now to understand the wave of emotion that carried Scotland to South Africa. We were going to win the World Cup. England cannae do it, 'cause they didn't qualify, sang Andy Cameron to the delight of the Tartan Army. And we were so confident that we celebrated before we left at a packed Hampden send-off. Cameron, for those who don't know, is a comedian, perhaps no surprise given our performance in the tournament. The confidence was obviously misplaced, but given we had a side that featured the likes of McQueen, Souness, Gemmell and Dalglish, all playing for top sides in England, perhaps we were entitled to dream. My personal dream was a bit less ambitious. Having switched my allegiance from cards to stickers, I was determined to complete that album. Eventually, I did amass all the stickers, but then I made a blunder that haunts me to this day. The album itself had made the journey to school with me every day for 2 or 3 months, and was looking decidedly dog-eared. For reasons that defy logic, as I made those few final swaps, I decided it would be a good idea to buy a fresh one and transfer all the stickers into it. I leave you to guess how well that went. There was no such problems with Europa 80, but if I was going to dry my tears from Argentina, I was going to the feet a couple of years later, when the world's best headed to Spain. Again, Scotland qualified. Again, Scotland failed to get past the group stages. Again, I dreamed of completing my collection, and this time, I did it. Occasionally I look through the album and flick through the pages, each one bringing the memories flooding back as I recalled the names that seemed so exotic at the time. Giancarlo, Antognoni, Bignui Bonic, Hans Krankel, Felix McGrath, and, a name that caused many a giggle among schoolboys, Roberto Lopes Mfarte. Yes, it's a bit dog-eared, but this time I'll live with that. That article was written by Colin Hume. It's a special from This Sporting Life, and it was read by me, Corey.
Thank you for listening to this week's Kirkintilloch Herald podcast, brought to you by Q&A Review, print speaking to the blind. If you've any feedback, you're welcome to call us on 0141 772 3976. If you enjoyed this recording, feel free to subscribe to our channel.